Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars, should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
First in the building, match fishing and growing, mass fishing and growing on deck. You already know what it is. Salute to you, brother. Mr. Golden, the OG on deck. I see you. What up with you, man? Give a little bit of time for everybody to fall in. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna be a real long one, but of course we got some things to talk about. You know, boxing is in a place right now where, you know, we at the end of the year, and though we have some fights on the calendar, people are like still, you know, antsy about a lot of things. You know, they cool about certain fights taking place, but then it's not it's still, you know, when you got that big fight out there looming, you know what I'm saying? You got that big fight out there looming again. You know, that's the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? The powers that be, not the ones that's at the tables, or the powers that be of the ones that shocked the world, the fighters. You know what I'm saying? The situation that went down July 29th with Terrence Bud Crawford, that still has the boxing community and the global axis spinning out of control. God damn it. We still haven't been able to logically figure out how we're going to bring all these psychologically fragmented individuals back down to their stable sense of sanity. This shit is just unfucking believable. Before this all took place, I thought I had an EAM in place. You know, being in my military background, we always had to do EAMs, you know what I'm saying? EAPs. You know what I'm saying? I thought my EAP was on point. Emergency action plan. I thought I had it because I told you all 0%. I gave Errol Spence a beating, Terrence Bud Crawford. But see, that was just from the results. I looked at it like, okay, this is just from the results. I know what the results are going to be. You know what I'm saying? But then when it started to basically give you the vivid side of the reality in real time, that's when it hit people different. Because when you put yourself in a conundrum for 5 years, right? And you have two fighters that you, if you are a frequent flyer on this YTC, you know what I'm saying, skies, right? Are you on you up here rowing in the YTC waterways? You have sat here and listened to hours upon hours of countless freaking arguments and conversation and topics and people stabbing each other in the back, all because of two names. You know what I'm saying? The back and forth belligerency that goes on. You know what I'm saying? The arguments. I'm talking about the hostile environments, fussing, fighting, constant agitation, unhappiness, feeling of misery, the uneasiness of it, the deliberate sense to put yourself right back in there the next day and fight about the same topic. We did this shit years upon years upon years, y'all. We did this shit. We talked about a fight forever and a day, man. People sitting up here growing freaking bonds and alliances and shit based off two fighters. Then within those two alliances, you have two sides where they was basically providing their insight as to how they gonna support their fighter and how their fighter is gonna go in here and win. And then the other side was supporting their fighter. Everybody had their own conclusion through all the information that's accessible to us, all the archival, the cataloging, the routing mapping that goes on, the note taking, countless times that we spent here talking about Spence and Crawford Spence over and over again. People stand up into the wee hours of the AM. People up here doing debate after debate after debate after debate after debate, talking about how the fight's gonna play out. Numerous of predictions, y'all. I'm talking about predictions we can't even count. I can't count the number of predictions that went on. Predictions. People was doing predictions when the fight was made. They was doing predictions freaking 48 hours after the fight was announced. And we still had several weeks before the fight would take place, y'all. But they just wanted something to talk about. Predictions. And then you know what happened when you come with predictions, right? You have people out here that feels like your prediction is always going to be something that's not considered civil because they're going for the opposite fighter and they just can't lock in and agree with what you're talking about. So that brings on a disconnect. That brings on a sense of irritability to say, nah, man, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. So-and-so is going to do this, this, and this. And for a long time, man, we played in that motherfucking schoolyard, didn't we? We played like a motherfucker in that schoolyard. We were sitting up here knowing some shit was going to pop out. It's just like walking up to run a game of hoop, man. You got next up. That's how it was out here on the YTC for Crawford Spence. And the wild part about it is that all the way up to July 29th, finally, when the fight was announced, it just seems like the energy was pretty damn high. I ain't gonna lie. The numbers on the barometer was pretty high. Shit was boiling over. It became an omnipresence over here on the YTC. Every time you turned around, somebody was talking about it, right? I mean, it's some things that people learn, and there's some things that people unlearn. The shit that was unlearned is the motherfuckers that was up here that was talking about agitprop. They was all about pushing propaganda and rhetoric out to the boxing fans. Just trying to bring up certain things that was irrelevant, but just to bring a side of controversy to it, just so people can look stupid and dumb as they already did. Just listen to people just make up shit. That's what we invested our time in for years. And for the Spence, Crawford saga, now heading into the rematch, it ain't so customary that people's out here talking on this YTC shit, y'all. They ain't as genuine as they was. They can't be, they're not as reliable to hold down that conversation like they had before July 29th. Crawford shocked the freaking boxing world, bro. Crawford shocked the world when it came to this particular fight. A lot of times people gave up, including myself. I didn't think the fight was going to happen, some years out, from, in 2021. I didn't think the fight was going to happen. It just went so back and forth. It seems like freaking Errol Spence was more, he was more focused on fighting Canelo Alvarez. He made mention of that. It seems like that's the route the PBC was trying to go. It just seems like, for a minute, they was making us seem like we was the dummies. They was puppetizing us. They had us out here just throwing little sprinkles out there for motherfuckers to nibble on and talk about when they was heading in a totally different direction. You know what I'm saying? It was all distraction. You know what I'm saying? They was putting smoke bombs out here. This typical topic. I mean, this topic wasn't typical. This is just something every time a little bits and piece of information come out about Crawford and Spence, people just sat there and then they just vested all their time talking about it. I'm not saying I didn't talk about it. I'm just generalizing everything, right? Now we get up into the rematch and there's so much that's going on. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that's going on. You're like, this is what y'all wanted, though. You know what I'm saying? This is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted the Spence Crawford fight. Y'all said that Spencer did everything to be the A side. He did all the heavy lifting. You came up with all the common terms. You said them so much they became a regular part of your vocab when you was on here speaking. I'm not lying. It's cats up here include their vocabulary speaking about this topic. It's cats that continue to say the same stuff over and over and over and over again. Heavy lifting, Crawford moving funny, heavy lifting. Spencer's the A side. Crawford ain't fought nobody. Who is he fought? He ain't fought nobody. Spence, educated jab, pressure jab, best jab in boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's all you heard. Pressure. He's the bigger fighter. He's the boogeyman. He's the big fish. People up here buying merch. You know what I'm saying? They laugh and having a good old time. Crawford's too small. Nobody on Crawford's resume. Never respect Julius Ndongo. Constantly talking about Gamboa 9 years ago. The same shit these cats developed new terminology that they chose to just repeat and remediate over and over again, man. You know what I'm saying? You can only say, you know, this shit is repetitive without it being repetitive. Like, damn, okay, I know who channel you've been on. I know who you've been hanging around. Okay, I got it. But I'm saying to myself, this what they wanted, bro. They wanted the circumstances to be the way it was, man, in all fairness. Real talk. No one thought it would be a state of emergency when this fight took place July 29th. They went into this game, right? They were so antsy to see these fighters finally have a face-off. And they was sitting up here barking. They was hyping each other up. They was gloating and shit because Errol Spence looked bigger than Spence. Errol Spence looked bigger than Crawford. They was finally happy to hear the fighters go at each other, and Crawford and Spence finally speak up and tell me, "Oh man, you ain't fought nobody." I was there. I heard the laughing. I heard people, you know, when they start to talk, and you know, Diddy James started to try to act like he wanted to intervene and talk shit about Bomac. All the laughter that took place when Diddy James was more focused on trying to denigrate freaking Bomac, if anything. Outside of that, the fighters themselves started what was several years in the making. They started to build it up. They started to freaking get that grease hotter and hotter. They started to goddamn cook up the trash talking factor. They started to give us the energy that we was looking for. You know, they began to let us know that, yeah, this is not going to be a Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. We're going to talk our shit. But then I felt like, okay, it's still a manner of respect that I see this going on. They're going to talk that shit, but it's a manner of respect. You know what I'm saying? Because I just always looked at it like Errol Spence understands who Crawford is. Crawford understands who Spence is. And it was going to be no way that one of them put hands on one another. You know what I'm saying? Without retaliation. It wasn't going to be no Lomachenko, Devin Haney. So I always felt like, yeah, they was going to talk their trash on stage, but it wasn't really going to get physical. I kind of figured that out right away. But when the commonplace of them being in the same proximity finally happened and people got a feel of, yeah, this fight is actually taking place, I think that's when a lot of Errol Spence fans really start to just, okay, let me get on board with this. Let me start just trying to build them up. Cause truth be told, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Spence fans, they had faith in Spence going in there fighting. I mean, I'm not gonna say they didn't have faith in him. They had faith that he was gonna go in there and fight, right? But they didn't have faith that Crawford can beat him, though. These cats didn't have faith that Crawford can beat him. So you probably saying to yourself, well, WCS, you didn't have faith that Spence can beat Crawford. No, that's not true. That's not true. If you're saying that I didn't have faith, that means I felt that it was a possibility that Errol Spence could beat Crawford. I just didn't think that he could. Like, you know, he had the he could pull it off. It had to be a little bit of, you know, just a little bit of me saying, okay, this is going to be competitive enough. He might have a chance. But I gave it the 0%. I said he don't have a chance of beating Crawford. So I don't have to go off faith. I'm telling you what I know. It ain't no faith. I just felt what I felt. But when this fight started picking up and picking up and picking up, who would have thought what happened on July 29th would play out the way it did, y'all? To the highest heaven, who thought that shit would play out the way it did? And I look back at all the energy, all the hours put in, you know what I'm saying? All the, you know, people get mad at one another and doing reaction videos, and, you know, just all the live streams, the time and effort, the debates, the arguments, the freaking back and forth on Crawford ain't gonna do this, Spence ain't gonna do that. It finally happened, and it was so much easier to see it play out in real time than to talk about it anymore. This shit is gonna last forever, y'all. This fight that we witnessed on July 29th is gonna last forever. It's just Crawford made it look too easy. See, one thing I can say about Crawford is just what I always thought. He just wasn't a dude to just go up here and play the dumb role and then act the dumb role too, knowing that he's a better person than that. So he wasn't going to play dumb and act dumb just to have people believe he's dumb, just to get a bigger result next time. No, he was going to give you what he knew he was going to give you right away. If he's not going to play the fool, he's not going to make you think this, that, and the other. No, this is who I am, period. You can sit up here and downgrade it or devalue it however you see fit. It don't make a difference. But you're going to see. And he went in there and made that fight look so freaking easy, man. He didn't even know what he just did. He didn't even know how much he had just ripped, shredded. This man single-handedly, him and his team, but more so Crawford, he pretty much kidnapped the confidence that these Spence fans had going in there. He pretty much kidnapped all of anything that they ever thought they had prior to going in there. He stripped it. He stripped the shit out of it, man. He didn't steal it from it. He ripped it. He ripped it straight from their hearts, man. After all the years and years of freaking talking. I mean, people really being obligated to be on live every day to talk about this. One man went in there and stripped this shit all the way down to the bare. They stripped him of all their confidence. He stripped them down so bad that most of them don't even have, like, they don't know which direction to go head into this rematch if it happens. They don't see that they was the same ones up here talking how beneficial it was for boxing. But now these are the same people up here looking at it like, hey, check this out. He need to fight him at a higher weight class. But no. I thought it was all about undisputed. As we talk about self-reflection, wasn't it all about undisputed before? So undisputed happened, and we saw the results. Now it's all about moving up weight classes just to get a fight, just to see if Spence have a chance to beat him at a higher weight class. I thought it was for undisputed though. So wouldn't it be feasible? Wouldn't it be logical? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't it be within the spirit of Bud Crawford as the welterweight undisputed champion to defend his titles at 147 pounds? Okay. But paying the toll across the bridge, goddammit, we have another conversation that people think we're going to put critical thinking to. It's not going to happen, bro. We're not going to put no critical thinking into Jaron Ennis versus Terrence Crawford. It ain't no freaking critical thinking of this shit. If boxing, being it's a system and not an entity, I think we really need to look at this next fight and understand what we did with the Crawford Spence situation, and don't allow that to bleed over, reciprocate over to how we promote this Crawford Jaron Ennis. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm not about to get in a state of mind where I'm tired of talking about something. I'm just not gonna give it as much energy as I did Crawford Spence. This fight right here is not gonna take in his duration. It's not gonna take 3, 4, 5 years. Here we go. People throwing up the name that they had in the beginning, Jaron Ennis. And I like Jaron Ennis, but I don't want him to be put into this whirlpool of freaking misery when it comes to the shit thinking. When media just come up with stuff to turn Jaron Ennis into a bad guy, like they turned, they wanted Errol Spence to be the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford was the bad guy, but they wanted Errol Spence to be the bad guy, as if, he's running things, he's been doing everything, he's the top dog and all that. Jaron Ennis can't go in here like he's the top dog because he ain't. But I don't want the black community once again treating these fighters like they did with Crawford and Spence. We don't have to do that for Ennis. Ennis doesn't give me any of those vibes that he's that guy that's up here willing and able to follow, unless he changes. He's going to be the good guy because they don't like Crawford, period. Crawford has been one of these fighters who received the most hate of this goddamn decade, damn near, outside of Deontay Wilder. So when it comes to Jaron Ennis, we're not going to talk about this all day, every day with 20,000 predictions and try to get these two fighters to hate each other and talk shit and all that just because he's out of Philly. I'm gonna tell you point blank, man. Either the fight gonna happen or it's not. There's no field of work that we have to put in for this shit. We don't have to put in work orders for this motherfucking fight. None of that. He's the mandatory for the IBF, goddammit. Crawford is the freaking undisputed titleist. This is all we trying to talk about. Both of these guys are well experienced. Period. Jaron Ennis is sitting at 31 victories, 0 defeats, and 28 knockouts. Isn't that enough? Okay, it's enough. It's enough. So you can take your comparisons however you may see fit, and you can try to bleed that over and try to mirror it up to what Crawford has done. It ain't no comparison. Period. But now the conversation is beginning to ripple a little bit. You know what I'm saying? People getting bored, and they want to start talking about Jaron Ennis and Crawford. I like it. Before I said fuck it. Previously, I say fuck it because Crawford said it didn't make any sense for him to fight Ennis because Ennis haven't fought nobody. Ennis haven't really did anything spectacular. Beating Roman Villa didn't do anything for him. But like I said before, I'm just giving my generalization. I'm just giving my overview. I'm not here to dog out Ennis, man. I'm not here to dog out him, nor his pops, black father and son tandem. I'm not here to do that. But when it comes to this boxing talk, he has a lot to prove when it deals with going in there with Crawford. Your resume is mediocre. It doesn't even scratch any type of surface when it comes to Crawford and what he's been able to accomplish. We're talking about just based off what he's done in the divisions he's done it in and how he's done it. You don't come close. So this particular matchup, when it hits the airwaves of what I'm starting to see, the little bubbles come up to the surface and people starting to damn do all these freaking these flyers and shit because they're bored. Crawford made his fight July 29th look too damn easy. He went in there and blasted through this guy Spence. Now they want Jaron Ennis, who on paper he has everything he needs, the numbers. As far as the frame, the snapshot, we don't know if the snapshot is going to add up to what he produces in the ring. We don't know that. He's fit. He's big for a freaking 47-pounder. He's very talented. But does he have what it takes to go in there against a technician? A counter-punching operative. Special Forces offensive executioner. Does he have what it takes to go IQ for IQ with Bud Crawford at this stage? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if he does or not. I don't care. Put him in there with Crawford. If he's the next in line and that's Crawford's mandatory, and we already know how the IBF is very strict today, mandatory, I don't care. I don't care if Jaron Ennis is ready or not ready for Crawford. If he's the mandatory for the IBF, he's next up in line. He beat Roman Villa. He has the IBF interim champion. Put him in there. There's no need for us to go up here and do a treadmill event, running place in this for years. Tomorrow, oh man, no. We done that. We exhausted all our shit for the last several years talking about Spence and Crawford. It didn't go the way a lot of people thought. Through the hustle and bustle, people gave away, squandered like days and days upon their life talking about this shit, and they can't get it back, only to be snatched, only to be scorned. Only to be violently shaken by the reality of what went down inside the T-Mobile massacre. Only to be front and center for that act of violence, bro. The recovery and rehab is going to be extensive. And you think we're going to talk about Crawford Ennis for a long period of time? And Crawford goes in there, he's proven everything he had to prove. Everybody else is running the fuck away. Jamel Charlo act like he don't want to fight. Tim Tszyu want Jamel. Yeah, he should want Jamel. No doubt. No doubt. He should. He's in the same weight division. I don't blame him. Canelo want to talk about he ain't going to get no credit. Everybody's running. But I say this. If everybody's whining, all we need to do is for Crawford to send that contract and see how long it takes for Boots to sign it. Let's not make this a long drawn out process now. If this is what y'all want for boxing, let's go ahead and make it happen. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Team Ennis, they should be on deck. You know, he's the IBF mandatory now. Let's get with it. Let's do the damn thing, man. There's no need for introduction, man. We ain't going into the perpetual darkness with this shit like we did Spence Crawford. That we was lying and sitting in there having boxing conversations in perpetual darkness, y'all. Every time you turn around, man, we was talking about this until the wee hours of the night. Everybody had their opinion, and it's a lot of knowledge that was expressed as we was up here having those long, drawn-out discussions. But guess what? That is over, people. And the rematch isn't going to change anything. So I'm doing my due diligence ahead of time. Right? I'm sending up all the pyrotechnics that I can. I want to get people out of the blues and back in the spirit, goddammit. let's not waste too much time on this Jaron Ennis. Because at first I was against it. I was like, no. I mean, he should do more. Ain't that what they told Crawford? Oh, he needs more on his record. He ain't fought nobody. No. I don't wanna do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, act like we're back on training wheels again, y'all. No, take this in a more expedited manner. We don't need this to act like we on training wheels no more. No. Let's treat this with a bit more familiarity, proficiency, and jump the line a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And try to push this fight now. Let's not say Jaron Ennis haven't fought nobody. He's not ready. He's not experienced. If they want Ennis to fight Crawford, we're not gonna sit here and talk about Ennis is IBF. Why Crawford ain't fighting his IBF? Why Crawford ain't fighting his IBF? Crawford, if you're out there, I don't know exactly what's going to transpire in upcoming months, but we do need some assistance, so we won't have individuals up here trying to assume, knowing that you already went in there and beat Errol Spence the way you did. We don't have the time to be playing these damn childish juvenile games. You know what I'm saying? We don't have time to be listening to it, really. And that's exactly what they're going to do with Ennis. They're going to start trying to make him out to be the guy that's on the hunt. And Crawford's 36 years old, going on 37. And we need to force him to fight Boots, because at the beginning of 2022, that's what they was doing. Crawford ain't fought nobody. He had just came off fighting Sean Porter. But yet, they was throwing Boots' name in there. And then came around the BOK Prime. All this flabbergastic flumery, all this frivolous information of people thinking that they was up here trying to plan a fight and make this fight happen. It didn't happen. So his name came up in December 2022. Prior to Crawford going in there flatlining Avanesha in 6 rounds. I say, okay, since we're in 2023 and we all seen what happened, let's not go through 24 saying that Boots is being ducked. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That is grotesquely a misfigured freaking lie. You know you're doing a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? You're injecting some bullshit once again. Let's not talk about Crawford ducking. Let's not talk about any of that. Let's adjudicate this as quick as possible if it presents itself. Like, whatever happens with this rematch with Crawford. And then if he chooses to stay at 47, I don't know if this fight can make big money at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. But WCS is not up here trying to discourage y'all. I'm not up here to discourage y'all from talking about the fight in a positive manner. I'm just not trying to talk about the fight for years and years and years and years and years, because it's not going to go down like that. Crawford say he's not going to be in the sport for a long period of time. So if he's 36 years old right now, why do you think he's going to wait around for Boots? I'm trying to see if Boots is waiting for Crawford to vacate, or he really want to step up and face Crawford. Because it's not going to be no Ramon Villa, bro. It's not going to be any of that shit. It's not going to be any of that. It's going to be a good fight. I think Boots is in over his head, but this is what the people are going to see. They want to put the next black man up there to be the challenger. He's earned it. He's worked his way and maneuvered his way into the position. You know what I'm saying? Yes, man. I like Boots as a fighter. Do I think he's qualified? Yes, he's qualified. He's a professional fighter. He's worked his way up there. Do I think he's on the same level? No, I do not. I don't think he's on the same level at all. It don't matter if I had a dark room freaking retreat or I had an ayahuasca. Combine them together, ayahuasca in the dark room. I'm going to come up out that bitch and say, nope, I still don't think he's on Crawford's level. Put him back in there, give him some hair, up the dosage. It's not going to matter. I'm just saying right here, right now, I think it's going to go against any principles we have as hardcore boxing fans if we sit up here and just start making up freaking bogus ass scenarios, fraud ass scenarios, talking about, well, Boots is ready, Crawford's ducking. We heard that bullshit. That shit is stale. And I know it's going to be a channel to come up just because I'm saying it. And they're going to sit up here and start it off. Just because WCS said it, I'm going to say Crawford's ducking Boots. It's not going to make no sense at all. Because obviously, Crawford has shit already on the calendar. But they'll start talking, oh, man, Crawford, he ducking Boots. What's going on with Boots? Who he's fighting next? Crawford's available, right? What's up with him and Spence? He can fight Boots next year, 2024. What's going on, man? Come on, Crawford. You holding on to the belts. Why he ain't fighting nobody? You already got outlets up here talking about Crawford scared of Boots because he's a younger lion. He's young. But seriously, after what we seen with Spence, you think Crawford is scared? For anybody to come out their lips talking about somebody's being fearful after watching what we just watched is crazy. Let me get to the motherfucking chat. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-side official, baby. No negotiation needed. Period. You already know what's good. Arnold on deck. I see you. Big Blunts and Boxing the Gold in the building. Salute to you. Dan Tan on deck. Strap season turned into strip season for Arrow and the Arrowlets. Man, you ain't never lied, right? You ain't never lied. Terrence Crawford will beat Errol Spence no matter what weight class they in. Talk to him, Corey. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Corey in the building. Crawford got bigger fish to fry. And see, that's where I'm at with it too. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. There's nothing contrasting about that. He has bigger fish to fry. But I'm trying to give Jerron Ennis the opportunity, man. I'm not trying to do it like, okay, since you here, what's his resume again? What's his record? 31 and okay. Seems like your numbers are where they supposed to be. Everything's lining up. The ratings there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that, Jerron. I don't want to put his name out there like, yeah, you here. We're going to find a place for you, buddy. No, man, it's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. I think Ennis deserves more than that. He ain't out here he ain't that guy, man. He ain't an asshole. He's a good dude. He shouldn't be wrapped up or attempted to be wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? And this freaking cocoon that boxing voices are out here talking. You know what I'm saying? The cocoon of insults. You know what I'm saying? People talking cantankerous, maliciousness, trying to make him out to be the villain just so the fight can line itself up well with Crawford. If they haven't learned anything about what they did the first time with Crawford Spence, that this definitely ain't gonna work with Boots, because Boots' personality is not Crawford. His personality isn't with Crawford. You know what I'm saying? We already seen that on $1 Million Worth of Game. Boots was up here talking some crazy shit, talking about he been looking for Crawford since he was 2018. And at that moment, I was like, bro, I'm just trying to give Boots Ennis the benefit. Really, I'm trying to give you the benefit, bro, that you're a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? You're a tough fox. I'm not saying you're a nice fighter. Like you're late. You're easy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying generally what I perceive about your personality, that you're a cool cat. But when you came on $1 Million Worth of Game, talking about you've been looking for him for 2018, maybe you woke up out of your sleep too early or something. I don't know, bro. But you definitely wasn't looking for Crawford. You definitely wasn't looking for Crawford back in 2018, bro. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm putting out there. That's all I'm saying. Mr. Golden said, man, Boots is a waste of time. We should have just took the fight when he had the chance, but he ran just like the rest of them. I know. See, this is where I'm at with it. It's not even in the pre-staging the OG. This is where I look at. It's not even in the pre-staging. Because Crawford has some already on the dock. So we're not even pre-staging for this to put this in the water yet. I'm just putting it out there where I don't want it to go. Before it actually, picks up any type of current and start going downstream. I don't want people driving this motherfucker around on land. You know what I'm saying? Doing dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Just goddamn being rugged and ragged with it, just tearing it up, just beating it up and abuse it like we did Crawford Spence for years. There's no need for doing that. There's no need to go off-roading with this topic. There's no need to goddamn every time you're at the bar start talking about Boots and Crawford because it's so far away. It's so far away, dog. When he was in the WBO, yeah, we know he changed over to the IBF. They wanted to go the Spence route, and look, they had Spence beating Crawford. They had Spence beating Crawford, no doubt about it. They had Spence beating Crawford, bro, and they thought, okay, Spence go ahead and beat Crawford. They was gonna get their shot. Because I remember Bozy up here talking about David Avanesian, and they were saying, who is that? That was he supposed to do. We didn't know who the guy. Okay. So now when you look at it, it's a lot that's out there that's saying that, hey, Boots, you've been looking for him since 2018. Y'all was criticizing, him fighting in December, David Avanesian, and y'all was pretty much saying who is he fought because the gym over there was coming up with so much criticism on Crawford, real talk. And you think Team Crawford don't know that? but I'm trying to be somewhat. I'm not trying to be a mediator. I'm just trying to come into this with a calmer mind and looking at this differently than I did with the Crawford Spence situation. Because in no way, shape, or form, this build up is going to play up to that. It's not even going to be able to do that in a short period of time. It's not, because you just have the persona of Errol Spence, Texas, his Kell Brook fight. There's no way that Jerron Ennis is going to be able to skip over that and bring people to look at him like he's freaking Errol Spence. No, they're not going to do it. Shout out to you, AU. What's good? Shout out to Detroit boxing fans in the building. It's always a move of the goalposts, though, when it comes to Buzz. Spence couldn't get the job done. Now they moved to the premature Ennis. That's what they're trying to do, man. I'm not, trying to sit up here and talk about this in its totality, as if this fight is right next door. If the fight's not going to happen, we don't have a clear understanding. If Crawford doesn't show any signs that he's interested, we should stop talking about it. You're going to do no good saying that Crawford's ducking Spence and he's already proved everything he needs to prove. He beat someone that's younger than him in his weight class on the pound for pound list. Man, get the fuck out of here. And y'all going to start talking about, I hear these freaking mainstream media outlets talking about Crawford scared. How the fuck is he scared of anybody, dog? How do you think he gets up to this point in his career? Still undefeated, and all of a sudden he's scared of Boots, who doesn't even have the degrading resume. He doesn't even have the qualifications to be mentioned in the same conversation as Crawford, even though they compete in the same profession. He doesn't have the credentials for anybody to sit up here and attempt to say whose resume is better. Come on, bro. Come on now. This isn't two names that you even put in a debate. It's nothing to debate. Point blank, period. It's nothing to debate. Now, if you want to play a guessing game, you know what I'm saying? If you want to do spin the bottle, if you want to do some guess, you know what I'm saying, guess this answer or some Jeopardy type shit, okay, cool. But besides that, it ain't shit to talk about with this fight. I just don't want it to go down You know what I'm saying? If Crawford's gonna fight him, I have to hear from Crawford. I have to hear from him saying, okay, everybody else is just running. Jamel Charlo want to continue to bitch and complain because listen, we already know what Jamel Charlo. We haven't heard shit from him since that fight. And you think he's gonna come? He ain't put nothing out talking about he want to fight Crawford next or none of that shit. So he showed who he is. Canelo, I don't know what he's talking about. You know, all of a sudden he got mad freaking mandatories. So Crawford's too small. Okay, got it. And then I think Tim Tszyu mentioned his name, but what did he get from Tim Tszyu? Okay, Tim Tszyu will be a better fight than Jaron Ennis because the only thing is it'll give Crawford the opportunity to contend for his 4th division. That's all. Because really, Jaron Ennis is in a hurt place right now. He's not in no way in the driver's seat. He's not riding shotgun. None of that shit. Jaron, you're at the bus stop. If Crawford chose to send the bus your way with a goddamn a one-way ticket, then cool. But that is the only way that you get to step in the ring with Crawford, you know, as far as this division, because he has options. He has those plus options. He has options on top of options. He can either choose to fight you, whatever, and, you know, and take less money, or he can be patient and fight a bigger name and get more money. I'm pretty sure where he's at in his career, he's trying to get the bag. He's trying to stack that soft money. He's not trying to go in here and just make a check. He's did that already. He's not trying to go in here and just say, well, I need to continue to build my legacy. His legacy is defined. His legacy is glowing right now, dog. There's nothing else that he has to do. Real talk. What more is there for him? What more does he have to atone for to prove to the people he is him? It's just I already see the little bubbles coming up on people talking about Crawford ducking Spence. I mean, Crawford's ducking Ennis, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, bro. Man, this is not kiddie land no more. This is not goddamn YTC or us. You know what I'm saying? This is not Dave and Buster's, motherfucker. Chuck E. Cheese. We're not ordering pizza. The nastiest tasting pizza on the block when we got damn Marco's and Pizza Hut down this motherfucker. I mean, come on, man. The fuck are we talking about? We're not about to go down this same road with Ennis. We don't have shit to talk about. This fight nowhere close to being happening. There's no money in it. And it's nothing that's obligating Crawford to turn and say, you know what, Ennis, I want to go in there and fight you next. I don't want to hear about this shit. Do I want the fight? Yeah, I want the fight. If nobody else wants to fight Crawford, I'll say Crawford, yeah. I'll definitely like to see this fight. But to see the bad part about Ennis is that he has Errol Spence fans that's pushing him in the back to go in here and fight Crawford because they don't like Crawford. See, they're not your true friends there, Ennis. I'm just going to be point blank honest with you. They're not in your best interest. They're for their own interests. They're for their own maniacal, malicious, selfish ways. They don't like Crawford. Now they're going out here acting like they're supporting you heavy just to push you up there and see what you can do. If you go in there and take an L just like Errol Spence, guess what they're going to do to you, Jaron Ennis? They're going to abandon you just like they had previously abandoned damn Spence prior to the freaking fight, really. You're going to be amazed at how many of these people that was telling you how good and talented you were, how they disappear. They're not going to say anything. You know, they're going to sound like they forgot how to talk English, man. Don't let them put that hand in your back like that, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall for the shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand what ungodly, man. They don't understand, bro. The shit they do, it's all about themselves. They will hate one man and they'll act like they supporting another just so they can get back at the other man. The other man continues to show them that he is the one that is exalted, and he's in the pantheon of boxing, and he can't be stopped. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna continue to just try to take advantage of these fighters. You know what I'm saying? They find you as the next up there, Ennis. They're trying to goddamn shove you into harm's way to get you in there to fight Crawford. And you know, you and your team, to me, it seems like you haven't really been too invigorated to take that challenge. The way you move from the WBO to the IBF, but hey, if it changes, big dog. Shout out to Boxing Fan Talk on deck. Christopher White on deck. What's good? What's great? World Combat Sports. Marlon King Boxing Run in the building. What's good with it, brother? I like both those guys, but I'm rocking out with Ennis. Hey, you can rock out with who you want, no doubt about it. You're not gonna get no resistance over here. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a fool of me to sit here and say, "Oh man, it's not gonna happen." When the fight get made, when the fight gets signed, and it becomes a thing, then I start talking my shit. You know, whoever you rocking out with, I'm cool with. It's all good. I don't have no problem with Ennis. I'm just saying his resume doesn't qualify him to be in the same conversation as if we're lining him up. It's not a layer in Crawford's resume that lines Ennis up for conversation of compatibility. It's not a layer. That's how far off these two names are when it comes to boxing. It's not a layer, not one indentation, crack, crevice, fracture, nothing. The only thing that mirrors him up for I'm talking about eye relief. Something that gives eye relief to this shit is that he's 31-0. That's it. And he has 28 knockouts. That's the only eye relief that goes there, bro. The number, the eye relief, bro. 31-0, the eye relief. That's it. That's it. That's the only optics you get. I would like to see Bud go at it with one-time Thurman if he's going to stay at the welterweight. Okay. I mean, you have to see what Keith Thurman looks like in his next fight now. And don't he supposed to be in there fighting Stanthionis next? We need to see what Keith Thurman looked like coming off a hiatus. And if he looks good, how long he plan on, staying out the ring before he get back in, dog? I mean, come on, man. We don't want Crawford going in there beating Thurman up. And they say, oh, it's the same like Spence, man. And he only had like 3 fights in the last 8 years, man. You know what I'm saying? We need something to give him credit. We don't need this Keith one-time Thurman going in here looking like the Tin Man off the Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying? Somebody forgot to put some oil in his shit. He up there, goddamn, just squeaking all over the place. No, Crawford needs somebody who's competitive, who's active, who's in the thought processes of the boxing fans. You know what I'm saying? Who's ready, doesn't have no serious situations going on with him. Get full credibility. Full credibility. Not this spent shit, residual neurological damage, weight drain, all the fucking excuses we done heard. We don't want that no more. Shout out Marcus. What's good with you on deck with it? Spence only had that last fight at 147. What you mean exactly? He only had that last fight at 147. Boots gonna get the boots. Boots gonna get the boots put on. Keep trying, but you know what I'm saying, Carlos? Hey man, send that memo out, man. It's a foolish thought not to believe, huh? That's foolish not to believe that, huh? You say you've been looking for that man since 2018. Come on now. Be careful what you're looking for. Forget asking. Boots has never been in the ring with the fighter of Bud IQ. He would get a lesson from teacher Bud. Man, what you saying right there, bro? What you saying? He would get a lesson for real. Shout out to Naquan. I think that's your name. I'm just going to call you Q from now on. Shout out to Mr. International Toby Bartlett in the building. Salute WCS in the chat. We're global, baby. We're global. Got to keep the grease hot, real hot, and fry these fish and educate those strays. Yes, sir. We got to keep it hot. I'm just trying to goddamn keep it hot enough so the films can keep these conversations, from thinking they should have a place at the table. This Boots Ennis conversation shouldn't have a place at the table, bro. It shouldn't be served up with any type of entrees. This shouldn't even be an hors d'oeuvre right now. But if Crawford entertains it up the road, I'm saying, okay, cool. I'm down for it. Get it over with. No more talking. There's nothing to talk about. Get it over with. Let's go. This guy said he been looking for him for 28. Let's go. No more talking, man. I don't want to hear this shit no more. You know, the despicable, distasteful aftermath of boxing fans calling themselves, you know, hardcores and aficionados, diehards and shit, right? For them to look at a boxing match and then come up with all these fake freaking you're trying to put in all these fake situations that could have occurred. You know what I'm saying? These fake accusations. You're just coming up with fabricated lies. You know what I'm saying? You looked at the fight with your own eyes. You coming up with fake accusations as if this is an animated series. You're talking, oh, it was a clone. That wasn't him. He was drugged. That's when it becomes the mental shit I was talking about prior to the fight. You know what I'm saying? Mental health. A lot of you spend too much time on this YTC shit, and you don't know how much it affects you all. But your mental health played a significant role in proving my point, because a lot of you all was straight up hurt to the point where you didn't even want to admit that you just witnessed what you just witnessed. You didn't even want to admit it. You hated Crawford so bad, you didn't even want to admit that he beat him up the way he did. You couldn't even give him fair credit. I was going through some of these freaking comments. With Showtime leaving, gonna happen to Boots, then Bozy say they lowered the Showtime. The only reason I'm gonna, you know, I plan on even entertaining this is because, you know, with this no more talking, my whole point is, if it's not gonna be any type of traction given to moving this forward, then we really shouldn't link it together and start coming up with all these thumbnails and talking points as if it's going to happen sometime soon. It's not. And we're going to use the same little tidbits that we always used to do. Ducking. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. That shit ain't infectious like that no more. It was only infectious based off people's eagerness. You know what I'm saying? They was desperately seeking Spence Crawford. That's all they was doing, desperately seeking and shit. Ain't nobody gonna do that for Crawford and Ennis. It's not gonna happen. That's why I was saying, you know what I'm saying, all that shit we experienced last time, it's over. It's no more talking for this fight. If Crawford won it, I'm pretty sure he'll somehow some way and come out and make it a point to say, okay, before I leave 47, I have no problem fighting Ennis. That's if they want to fight. As far as Showtime leaving, if they choose to be loyal to Showtime, let's see what Showtime can do as far as these fights. Because in my opinion, Steven Espinosa is proven that he's a little semi-hater when it comes to Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious as to know why you feel the way you feel about Crawford, but you don't feel the way you feel about Canelo. Y'all dumping all this money into Canelo as a freaking Christmas present. But yet, Canelo then put on a performance against Jermell Charlo like freaking Crawford did against Spence. I guess y'all felt some type of way because Spence was actually signed. He was actually signed to PBC. So I guess y'all always looked at Crawford as a visitor anyway. You know, you wanted to treat him like he was his freaking stepson. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to treat this like it was an adoption. Like finally came over from Top Rank. And tell him we'll be over there to pick him up in a little bit. Just let him stew for a minute. Let him stew. They kept him up at the orphanage a little bit. You know, he was a free agent. You know, and then they wanted to come in here and talk about the back end and net pay and all that shit. And finally got the fight. It is what it is. He made it look easy. They ruined their top guy. Crawford ruined it. So when it comes for Boots Ennis, having loyalty to Showtime, kudos. What direction you plan on going, buddy? What's the air coordinates? When is your next fight? Where are you touching down at? Please let us know so we can tune in. Where's that gonna happen? Why the Bud haters not saying who has Boots fault? He fought nobody like they did. Talk to him, Toby. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, man. Let them know. The hottest chat in the MFing game, A-Side official. Let them know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Why that's the only anthem that we heard playing the airways, didn't we? God damn. Bud ain't fought nobody. Bud ain't fought nobody. It don't matter what beat you put to it. Bud ain't fought nobody. But all of a sudden, he should fight Ennis. He should fight Ennis. He should fight Ennis. Look what he did to Ramon Villa. Oh my God. So you're gonna give Rashidi Ellis all the credit in the world for losing to Ramon Villa, and then you boost up Villa like Rashidi was just this killer, right? And then and then he goes in there with a stylistically perfected freaking matchup for Boots Ennis to have somebody directly in front of him, and he stops him. Okay, kudos. But you should be singing the anthem, who is he fought? Just like Toby just said, who is he fought, goddammit? Who is he fought? Pay Arrow step aside money because he don't want to smoke and send Boots that contract. Hey, now, see, facts in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? Facts in the chat. But the one thing about it, Carlos, if it was up to us now, look, if it was up to us now, let's just say Crawford's getting, let's just say he's getting 15 mil. Let's just say 15 mil for Spence. Let's just say 15 mil, bro. Cause if I get closer to 10, they're gonna say, man, ain't no money. Okay, let's just say he get 15 million for Spence. And then you say paying step aside money. So he has to pay step aside money, whatever that is, to Spence. It's not gonna be cheap. And then he's gonna make very little fighting, you know what I'm saying, Ennis. So what is his gain for that? Ennis doesn't have any belts that Crawford need. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have any belts, dog. I mean, what's the present? It's getting to the holiday season there. What is the present, bro? What is the gift that he's receiving during this holiday to give him that? It has to be something. I don't care if it's this holiday season, the first part of next year. I mean, what does he get from that? Making all those concessions, giving step aside money to Spence, to fight Boots, who doesn't have anything except 31-0. I went back to watching Spence versus Crawford. That fool tried to say the first knockdown arrow slipped. I like how people be goddamn go around here, goddamn recon and doing site surveys on a nigga, dog. They be pulling up doing site surveys. Okay, let me go here, put this in, this name right here. Okay, let's pay attention. Okay. This dude said he slipped. Man, get the fuck out of here. That glove slipped off the side of his face, yo. Looked like Spence was buckling every time Crawford touched him. You know what I'm saying, Ron? Man, it's no denying that the physicality of that fight was one-sided. Arrow got up when he got up, but the physicality played itself out the way it did, dog. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. It was just too much, man. Crawford made it look too easy. He ruined the boxing community, a boxer, and the hope that people wanted to see a rematch. He ruined it for the goddamn the network and all those that was involved. He ruined it for them to make the money that they thought they was going to make in a 2-fight deal. That's why they wanted the rematch. They knew what was brewing. They knew it. They knew it, man. They knew the storm was there. They saw the cloud. They say, how the fuck that cloud has been here for the whole month? Look, that cloud was there for the whole month of July, bro. It was a cloud just sitting up there, man. They say, damn, if we drive out this motherfucker, it's sunny as hell, but that cloud sitting right there over T-Mobile. Hey, bro, They didn't want to listen. That cloud was there for a reason, man. Shit. To be honest, I was just throwing something out there because it seems like they don't want them bud problems. I feel you, man. They was once in the WBO. They want to go to the IBF. But when you say you've been looking for somebody since that long back, and really nobody was looking for you back then, it just made him seem like, dude, do you really want to just get your name out there, or you happy Wallow and Gilly call you up? I don't fucking know. In lighter news, though, I'm gonna be honest. I did see out here that Anthony Joshua has decided to stay with Ben Davison. I did read that on Boxing Scene. I mean, not Boxing Scene. I forgot what I do it, but I know Blunt sent it to me on the back end, right? And it's funny because I mentioned that, right? I mentioned that Anthony Joshua was up out of there. I told people that shit. I say he wasn't gonna be over there long. He didn't learn shit from there. He was over there from 2 fights. He looked mediocre. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves, man. Come on now. He looked mediocre. I knew it was only a matter of time for Anthony Joshua to leave Diddy James behind and move on. People didn't want to, they didn't pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? He had 2 fights. Jermaine Franklin, you know what I'm saying? He looked okay. He won a UD. And then he fought Robert Helenius and was getting beat up before he get a knockout. Now he's with Ben Davison. And he's severed ties with Diddy James. Whoa, telling on the mountain, over the desk dresser drawer, and on the nightstand. I mean, come on, man. He got the fuck up out the furniture store, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was tired of smelling Pledge and motherfucking pine oil and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? He got the fuck up out of there. He said no. And other coaches talk. He said, bro, man, you're not gonna learn anything. Look at how Mel Charlo looked. Mel Charlo, he pretty much signed it off. You know what I'm saying? Mel Charlo is like, hey, bro, look at that. How are you gonna learn? Look at his fighters, man. His fighters are freaking not advancing. They're not adjusting to what they have into the ring to make shit interesting. They're not doing it, bro. Look at this shit. You want to be a part of that? Come on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. 2 fights, man. He left the furniture store already. And he had shit on layaway too. He said, fuck it, keep it. I'll be good. Fuck it. Fuck it. I've watched some PBC boxers get fat off barely going the distance with Keith Thurman. They wasn't watching for Crawford because they ain't want a shorter career if he smoked them. I also look at this too, like, I'm just amazed at how many of these PBC fighters, Ron, has been able to have such a vacation or a hiatus as much as they have and not be seriously punished. Like, just think about their premier fighters being delayed. Spence at one time, Jamel Charlo was out with a hand injury. Mar Charlo was out with his problems. Man, come on. Keith Thurman. This dude has been on the shelf like a goddamn old ass picture. I mean, it's been fighters that's been on hiatuses over there like it's cool. For all this to come down to Showtime leaving, man, come on, bro. I want to know what everybody's gonna be sick when I always hear that. I want to hear what the play is, but I don't really care about that right now. I'm just saying, no more talking on this freaking welterweight undisputed. If Jaron Ennis is gonna fight, if Crawford embrace it, cool, he embrace it. If not, I don't really want to talk about it no more. BBC News reported about AJ moving out the world-class furniture store after being locked in the wardrobe for 4 days by Diddy after he heard about the Ben Davison. Damn, I couldn't see. I knew shit was going downhill, Toby, When I seen him over there for the Jermaine Franklin, let me see, was Jermaine Franklin fight or the Robert Helenius fight? I think it was a Robert Helenius fight. I seen Diddy James up there jumping up and down and shit like he was a little kid. It was just it just wasn't. It was a lot that wasn't right with that. And you know, I'm not going to make this about Diddy James because he don't have nothing about bringing Jerron Ennis to this fight. But truth be told, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm pretty content with these fighters leaving now. I know Jamel Charlo is gone, but Errol Spence supposed to be gone too. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence supposed to be gone from Diddy James. Now, if he chooses to stay around there, that's up to him because he must be a glutton for punishment. And like I tell people all the time, they just don't pay close attention. I say, he's going to get a TKO stoppage. Look, Spence is going to go in here again and get stopped via TKO. They're not going to let Crawford beat him down and just flatline him because they want him to have some longevity for a good, probably 2 more fights after this. That's all. If he gets flatlined like that, he's going to get suspended longer. And man, commissions and promoters know that. They talk to him and say, hey, you know, this fight don't go well. Make sure you stop the fight. You know, I mean, of course, we're not dealing with one quarter hitters. But if the way Crawford was looking in the 9th round with his activity and energy, it could have very well left Spence in a situation. You know what I'm saying? He could have got flatlined. He could have got knocked out cold. But they was there to make sure that didn't happen because they didn't want him being suspended for too long and have people really questioning, is he healthy enough to continue his career? Just like people trying to do now. They want to make up all these fucking excuses. But after he beat Ugas up, everything was cool. But when Crawford, look, he didn't have a fight from Ugas to Crawford. But all of a sudden, after Crawford, he has everything that he should have had when he fought Ugas and Danny Garcia. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I got it. To protect Boxers Committee. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Somebody say pay Bud Committee or something like that, and it's a lot of acronyms coming out. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, man, this fight right here, if Crawford chooses to bring it to a discussion of interest, I'm cool. I want him to fight him. I want him to fight Boots. You know, I want him. You know, it is what it is. I'm gonna leave it at that. As for everything that's going on with Diddy James and that fiasco and debacle that's over there at the furniture store, shout out to Anthony Joshua for proving my point. Good for you, Anthony. You have left that man far behind. You got in there and got a pair of fights and you bounced. Good for you, man. You didn't stay over there too long and goddamn, you know, inhale the fumes of that pine oil and pledge. Okay. So kudos to you, brother. I'm happy for you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy for you. I am. I'm definitely happy for you. You got the hell on. And I hope you took Spence with you. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people just don't, they can't leave. They need somebody to pull them along and say, hey, man, I got you. Come over here, man. You need to leave that guy. Leave that guy. Come on, Spencer. Mate, I got you. Have I ever let you down? Okay, mate, let's go. I'm going to introduce you to Ben Davison. And he's going to get you, you know what I mean? Stop being a madman. It's going to get you massive improvements by 24. Don't go back to the furniture store, man. Diddy is not it. Are you mad? You know what I mean, mate? Pay attention. You got 2 to 3 more fights on your career, and you want to stay here in the furniture store. No, mate, that's not the right move. I'm out. You with me? Come on now. Let's go. I got you. Anthony need to put Spence in a headlock. Let's go, man. You tough, man. Go ahead, man. You can learn some shit. You know, get away from this life, man. Go over here, lock in for 8 weeks, and go back in there and try your hand, bro. That's all I can say there, Spence. You know what I'm saying? Follow Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Let the mate take you to the land and get you ready, bro. Get you locked in over there, wherever you're gonna be at. But good for Joshua, man. Kudos to you. I ain't gonna lie. But we'll be back in the morning, y'all. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Salute to the hottest chat in MF and Game, A-Side Official. We should do it again tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars, should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back